It's 6:30 in the evening, Tuscan time, and I'm Judy with Francini of Dining with the Diva. My website is divinacucina.com. I'm an American living in Florence since 1984. I started as a pastry chef in San Francisco, and I've run a cooking school since 1988, downtown Florence. And this year I'm taking a cooking school sabbatical, so I'm in the midst of changing my teaching space. Hi there, Angela. And Terry, hi, nice for you to come. And Mary, that's Mary James, hi, from France. Thanks, Nick, happy birthday, yeah. Yesterday was my birthday. It's finished here now. So I decided this year that I'm not actually teaching, to do these little kind of like online Facebook classes, which will then be on my YouTube channel, okay? And so on Facebook, hi Claudia, Erika, wow, this is fun, Angela, Gina, this is going to be a real good party. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Yeah, I've been in Italy now longer than I was in America. So I left California when I was 30 years old. So I'm 60, oh God, 1954, 70, 63, 62, 63 years old. I never remember how you count those things. So anyway, today I was inspired. I'm often inspired by what I buy for what I'm going to cook. So in the old days, hi BJ, I would break out all my cookbooks and plan a recipe, and then get to the grocery store and find out like that the salmon of my main course wasn't really nice. It wasn't really beautiful. So what I do now is I spend more time shopping and less time cooking. So I try to find ingredients that are just the best ingredients, and then base my meal around that. So Facebook is really fun. Hi, Angela. Oh, yeah, we had a really great birthday feast. It was a treasure. Hi, Joyce. So I go to my market in Certaldo, which is a weekly big market, which is one where like the mall comes to you. And hi, Erica. Ciao. Erica's here. Erica is my vegetable girl at my Wednesday market and at my Saturday market. Those of you who taken classes with me, Erica was my assistant for, I think, about 5 years. And when I travel and teach, Erica comes with me. So that's within, like usually within Tuscany. We still go to villas and do villa cooking classes. So often family and friends rent a villa. And so we'll bring all of our equipment and we go to the villa itself and teach cooking at your villa. So that's something we still do. So anyway, weekly I'll go to the market and see what's really fabulous and fresh and seasonal, and then cook with that. So I was watching my Facebook and I saw that one of my new cheesemakers, who has cows and sheep, who's in the stand next to Erica's at the Wednesday market, that he said, if you guys come Thursday or Wednesday, if you guys come to my shop tonight at 4 o'clock, we'll be making sausages. So we went and they were in the back room cranking out sausages, and we were the first people there. So I'll show you. So we just got these beautiful, fresh Tuscan sausages, and the Tuscan ones are really, really nice. Hi, Paul David from Virginia. Ciao. And I was a vegetarian, so I don't eat a lot of meat still. Ciao, Massimo. I don't eat a lot of meat, but when I eat meat, I want it to be really good. And what's amazing is these sausages you can eat raw. So I know everyone always tells you, oh my God, don't cook. You have to overcook pork and kill it and blah, blah, blah. Well, you have to know who's raising your animals. These aren't mass-produced pigs. This is a small farm, very controlled what they're eating, humanely being raised, and then turned into sausage. So I can actually eat this raw. I wouldn't do that unless you know personally where they're coming from. So one of my favorite things to make for a party is, I don't know if you guys know, but when you come out, you usually get these little pieces of bread. They're called crostini. Ini usually means something's little. Well, we're going to make crostoni on a big piece of bread. And there's a couple of fun wine bar restaurants in Florence. Hi, David. Texas is checking in. There's a couple of wine bars, and you never drink without eating. So usually like someone like I go to, the Central Market, Johnny, my friend at Casa del Divino. It's a really historic wine bar. He has a little crostini, and so you'd get a chicken liver crostini, or his butter and anchovies, or little truffled sandwiches, and you always have something to eat while you're drinking. So now they've built these enotecas, these wine bars, based on having something to eat while you're drinking. So there's one I really love just over the Ponte Vecchio in Florence that's called Enoteca Volpe e L'Uva, which is the fox and the grapes, which is old Aesop fable. And they do a really nice crostoni. They slice the bread a little differently, so it's a little thinner than this, I think. And then these are just toppings put on bread, kind of like a pizza bread kind of thing, under the grill, so that usually it's cheese and something, then it melts. And then they cut them into little pieces, so you have little bites to eat. And that's really nice. Another place is in the San Nicolo region of Florence, which is considered the left bank. When you go over the Ponte Vecchio and turn left, it's down over in there. And then you go out the old gate of the city, Ciao Alba, and you go outside the gate. So Forty Porta is outside the door of the city. And Forty Porta has bigger pieces of bread than this. They're really a lot bigger. And they make these huge crostoni, which are really made to share. And they have pages and pages and pages of them, because they'll have, they're kind of repetitive, but they'll show you that, with sheep's milk cheese, with buffalo mozzarella, with usually pecorino, mozzarella, but brie, taleggio. They got all the different cheeses, and then all the cheeses want different toppings. So often at a bar, it could be just like cubes of ham, marinated artichoke hearts, mozzarella. I like to use something we're going to use today is the pecorino cheese, a fresh pecorino, which melts really nicely. I've already cut up into little cubes. This is our mozzarella, but it's a nice soft cheese and it melts really easily. So we're going to do today one of my two things to show you how easy a crostoni is to make. So we're going to do one with, let me just get one of the sausages. And then there's another cheese which I don't think you're going to be able to find. Hi Merte and Jody. This is, I buy this in a little plastic container. This is called Stracchino cheese. And Stracchino is a very, very soft, almost like, a cream cheese. But it's not Philadelphia cream cheese. And I would suggest, if you can't find this, sometimes it's called Crescenza. And it comes in a little like butter wrapper kind of thing. So Crescenza or or a Stracchino. It's all depending on where it's made, the names. So I'm taking the skin off the sausage, and I'm just going to blend it with the cream cheese. So in America, I would suggest doing this with the Neufchâtel cheese. Ciao, Angela. Neufchâtel cheese, which is like the softer Philadelphia cream cheese, and maybe stir in a tablespoon or two of sour cream. This has a nice tart little tang to it. So all I'm going to do is with my fork is blend the sausage and cream cheese in equally, and this so it'll spread. And I'm just going to spread it on the bread. This doesn't need anything because it's already got the beautiful fat of this cream cheese. And you could do any proportion you like of mostly sausage or mostly cheese. I remember when I was little growing up, my mom used to take raw hamburger meat and season it, and she would put little soy sauce and ginger in it, spread it on a piece of white bread, and then she would spread mayonnaise on top and put it under the broiler, and it was really fabulous. It was really good. And you'll see sometimes that French do things like that too, where they bind things and then broil them, and the proteins in mayonnaise or the proteins in the cheese brown really nicely. Okay? So this is really nice. So yeah, so if you have any questions, you could write questions down, and then ciao Mirko, my driver Mirko is on. If you have any questions, you can write the questions now, and then I'll go back on afterwards and I'll answer them. So I could give you like the spelling of the different cheeses. So then this is just really simple. You just take this, and this is just plain, country style bread. This is actually from a wood burning oven. And the Tuscan bread is very, kind of like plain. People don't really like it a lot if you're not used to unsalted bread. But we never eat our bread just as bread. It's always served with something, okay? So I like to be generous with this. I'm just going to do one right now as a sample. Okay? There you go. And then the other one, so this is just going to go on my cookie sheet right here. Ciao Carlo, grazie. How many grams of stracchino? You usually put equal weight. See, Charlene was asking me too if I had portion sizes. And basically, it's equal parts of sausage to stracchino cheese. So, I put that whole package of stracchino in, and for my husband, normally I would have done 2 sausages. I think 1 sausage is fine. The sausages are probably about 100 grams a piece. That was probably a 200 gram package of stracchino. But usually it's just equal parts. Cooking in Italy is very personal. An Italian mom will just say, well, yeah, QB, quanto basta? How much do you need? As much as you have. If I didn't have as much stracchino, I'd have more sausage. People don't worry so much about following recipes. They know more how to cook. So you can always start off with equal amounts and then personalize it. And if you don't have it, that doesn't mean you can't make it. I could still just spread sausage on there. And that'd be really rich because it'd just be sausage. But that's okay. So then my other crostoni, I'm just going to put, let me see, I can't really see this here. There. That's a little higher. So I'm just going to take, I bought some beautiful Sicilian little cherry tomatoes. Ciao, Alba. Let me just have to get closer now. I don't have my glasses on. Thank you. You're my personal assistant, Alba. Let me just look at the container. This is the one that I bought today. Everything's backwards here. So this is 200 grams. That's what I thought. And what I looked for, too, this is 100% Italian milk. I wanted something that was done locally. And it's without any preservatives. And so fermenti lattici, that's natural milk fermenting thing. So like a yogurty kind of consistency, which is really nice. So, and our bread is unsalted. And this one comes from Mantova. It's usually a northern Italian cheese. The other thing I wanted to tell you was that stracchino gets its name from, the root word would be stracco, and stracco means tired. So I don't know if you know this, but like when you make Parmesan cheese or any of these other cheeses, it's the morning's milk and the milk from the night before. So, and this is what they told me, so I'm just repeating it. Okay, don't shoot the messenger. They say that when the cows are milked at night, they've been out all day walking around, and that they're tired, and that the milk in the evening doesn't have as much protein. So they always blend that milk in with the morning's milk, which is the first milk of the day. They've rested, and the milk is rich in protein, and it's the protein that bonds together that makes cheese. So stracchino cheese is from tired cows. So this is a cheese that they can make with the evening's milk, and it's a very soft, melty, barely stand-up cheese. I had just taken mine out of the refrigerator, so it kept that block of it, but if I left it out, it kind of melts. And one of our favorite meals is that we like to, ciao Nikki, we still have to meet. I'm going to come down next week to Florence. Good morning. Ciao. Where are you from? From California. Ciao, John. Let me see where you're from. Thank you. And Christina, ciao. So anyway, so I'm just going to take these beautiful Sicilian little cherry tomatoes and just kind of spread them on this piece of bread. So this is kind of going to be like a fresh kind of a pizza thing, right? Tomatoes and cheese. So this one you could get like even fancier with. Like usually, like I said, if you want to have a party, you could have little bowls of tomatoes, artichoke hearts, olives. They do little cubes of mortadella, which is bologna. Artichokes, olives, mortadella, capers, tomatoes. Gosh, just like anything. It's really fun. And then I'm going to add my pecorino cheese. One thing I was just reading about too, somebody just showed me an article And I don't think people know about this, but a lot of times, up until recently, you couldn't get these beautiful soft pecorino cheeses. Pecorino means that it's from sheep's milk. And I remember when I was growing up, pecorino cheese was always that really hard, really salty, kind of horrible tasting cheese that you grated on pasta. You would never have just eaten it. It was always something to use in, excuse me, in cooking. And so I'm just going to add all these little cubes on here. You know, you want the tomatoes to still be seen, and the cheese is going to be all melty. And then what I do is I give it a little bit of salt. Okay, this cheese is not real salty. A little bit of olive oil, and this is going to crisp up the bread and help melt the cheese. Yeah, that's an Italian little bit of olive oil. And then if you ever come here, you've got to buy the oregano here. The Sicilian oregano has an incredible flavor, and to me it's the little magic in the recipe. So I'm going to put that on there. Okay, and I preheated my oven, and I'm just going to let these kind of broil until they're golden and crispy on top and the cheese is all melty. And they'll be ready. Let me just see if everybody's checking in. Hi, Debbie. Alba. Yeah, do-it-yourself crostini. It's really fun. Okay, so that's done. But anyway, I'm to finish telling you about the pecorino. So we have Tuscany is really famous for its sheep's milk cheese, and also Sardinia. And most of the cheese makers, sheep's milk cheese makers in Tuscany are from Sardinia. So at a certain point, I guess after the Second World War, somebody cut down all the trees in Sardinia during the war. Maybe they needed wood. And so a lot of the farmers left, and they came here to Tuscany, which was very similar in the hillsides. And so we have Tuscan pecorino cheese that goes from something really fresh like this, which is called the marzolino. Let me just show you how soft. Thanks, Deborah. Can you see how soft this is? It's really, really soft. Marzolino is traditionally just made in March, the spring, when the sheep eat the new young grasses, and it has a really, let me eat some, great flavor. So it goes from anywhere from there up to like a Parmesan cheese quality. So you're going to find all sorts of different beautiful Parmesan cheeses. I would say maybe something like a Monterey Jack even has more flavor, but I would substitute a Monterey Jack because it melts really nicely. But we get it where it'd be like Parmesan, really sharp and aged. But it's never, the Pecorino Romano is the one from Rome, which is salted and dried, so you really just grate it, okay? And so it's a nice salty touch to all your food. Let me just see. Oh, hi Karen, how nice of you to stop by. Yeah, so now we're gonna do is, I'm also a big fan of clay pot cooking. This is a beautiful clay pot that I got in Puglia from the Samarelli. Is a family in Putigliano that makes beautiful clay, and we do this stovetop. Okay, ciao Angela. Oh yeah. That's what it's the Sardinians make it the pecorino cheese here. I mean, then everybody picked up that same technique, but it's totally different than the Roman Pecorino Romano. Get it? Romano, Pecorino Toscano. So, and oh my God, I've seen a lot of cheese stores in America now too carry the truffled pecorino cheese. Now that's one of my favorites. They actually infuse the cheese with truffles, and so that's really good, melted on these things with scrambled eggs. This is a heat diffuser, okay? So I'm just going to put that, I have a gas stove, clay pot, okay? And then we're going to start, the other thing I wanted to make for you today, because when I was inspired by my butcher to get beautiful sausages, one of my favorite dishes is fagioli al luccioletto, which are beans, kind of twice cooked beans. Tuscans especially love to cook things twice. And the cooked Tuscan, like cannellini beans, are the most typical that you'll find anywhere. Beans are boiled, and I'm going to show you how we make the Tuscan beans. And then tomorrow, I'll do another Facebook Live. Well, we'll take those, and we have 6 million ways to make Tuscan beans fabulous. And so Tuscans are actually called mangiafagioli, bean eaters, because it was the protein. And most poor countries, you'll see it's a beans and rice kind of thing, or beans paired with something. So what we're going to do is, today I got something really special. This is written backwards, I know, on Facebook Live. Oh, page 163. Thanks, Charlene. Is that the fagioli al luccioletto page? Okay. Oh, Alba, yeah, it's not a, yeah, it's a different pot. I actually have, do they cook the beans stovetop? I know my friend Kate from Gascony gave me a cassoulet pot, which is actually for using in the oven, not stovetop. Okay, thank you. Okay, so fagioli luccioletto is page 163. Also, if you don't have my cookbook, a lot of my recipes are, you know, for free on my website, but I also have a, you can download a an ebook. Okay, these are fagioli zolfino, Zolfino. It's really a tiny, tiny, tiny little bean, and they're grown in just one small area near Arezzo, the Prato Magno, which is a mountain, and actually was Terranova Bracciolini was the first town, I think, that really started the production. When I worked with Dario Cecchini, the guys had almost stopped growing these beans because nobody was buying them, because beans are usually really cheap, so Dario started paying them more money so that they would grow them, and now it's one of the most popular beans again, but again, in limited production, because it's, the real bean is related to the ground it's grown in. So you could, I'm sure the Chinese are already copying them. But these are always from, you know, the harvest from last year. So I don't need to soak them overnight. I need to rinse them off, just in case it has something out. This is just clean water. So you want to just make sure that there's no rocks or anything in here. Hi, Deborah. Yeah, Via Tadea, they have them too. But anyway, these beans now, they cost almost as much as a steak does. But to me, I think people should be paid for their work. And if someone's going to sit there and just can only make a certain amount of these, I want these beans to exist. And I think they should be able to live and send their kids to school and, you know, do whatever they do and not have to starve by providing us food. I think sometimes we spend too much money on the outside things, clothing and cars and fancy watches and stuff like that. And I think we should spend more on what goes inside instead of outside. And also, ciao Miyuki, happy birthday to you too. I think if you spend more money on your food, or better quality food, I think we'll spend less. Oh, hi Steve. You Steve Sando. This is Rancho Gordo, my best friend in the bean world. So, besides these, and Steve's a great guy to get beans from. He's got some really nice selection. Hi Mark. Ciao, grazie. The Zolfini beans again, you see, I don't know if you can see how tiny, 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 tiny these are. They're really, really beautiful. So this is something that, I think they're like 21 euros a kilo, which is 2.2 pounds. And to me, they're worth every penny of it. These are not beans I make every day because they're expensive, but they're really precious. They're a very tiny bean. They cook really beautifully. They don't tend to break. The skin doesn't break, and they're really buttery on the inside. So I rinse these off in the water. I'm going to throw away the dirty water now. I'll be right back. And then one of the other really special things, oh thanks Martha, is, yes Steve, what beans do you have that are like a Zolfino? You have a can, oh, know what he has in now? Steve is creating the Marcella bean, which was a bean that Marcella Hazan sent to Steve in California. That was our like Serrano bean, which is a bean from Lucca. And they're also a really beautiful, beautiful bean. So what I'm going to do now is just put these beans in my bean pot. And if you look, I think I've, on the internet is when, last time I was home, Steve and I did a pasta fagioli recipe. And we used, I think the abuelo beans, which is a very small, tiny bean that reminded me a lot of the Purgatorio bean, which we also get here in Tuscany. And then we had the Baia pasta, which is local California pasta that was really, really good. Now when I cook my beans, because at my house we have really hard water, I use bottled water because the broth, to me, bean broth is the best part. So I'm just going to cover this with water. And they're going to soak up quite a bit. And if you know, I don't know how to use a pressure cooker or those Instapots or anything. Hey Steve, maybe you could tell us. Alubia bianca, okay. Steve the Bean Guy is up in Napa. And he has an online site, ranchogordo.com. So anyway, and also we talked about cooking these beans on the video I did with Steve. We did a really nice video. So all I'm going to do is add fresh sage leaves. I'm going to add 2 whole garlic cloves. And a huge big, I'd say like a third of a cup maybe of extra virgin olive oil. And this is my broth. And I'm not going to add salt until the very end. Now there's a huge big thing, add salt before, add salt after. Supplement baking soda first. Someone says it makes it easier. Whatever. You guys can do whatever you want to do. But this is just real easy. Oh, I forgot to turn this on. And then you can also, I also have another recipe on my website to do them in the oven. So this is something you could do and just go watch TV. I like to do this at night and watch TV. And if it takes me 2 hours, that's fine. I don't care. I'm watching TV and wasting time. Okay, that's on. When this comes like up to a boil, I'll turn it down low and I'll go watch TV. Okay, let me get out the crostoni now. Angela. Oh, Steve, do you still have them? Is that, oh, the YouTube. There's the link to our video. Yeah, that was such a great recipe. And I did the Tuscan herb mixture, which I also made a video of recently and put that online. Oh, look how beautiful. Okay. So can you see the cheese is all melty. And then what I look for is that the bread gets golden in the outside edges. Can you see that? So this like little tomato one is kind of like a little pizza bread. Let me get this a better view for you. And then I'll show you the pork chops we got. So I do this on a lined cookie sheet. Okay? And then for a party, just take your knife and cut them like into nice pieces. Let's see if you can get this focused. So these are really hot, burn your mouth hot, okay? But they're like little pizzas on bread. My mom used to do them with English muffins, I think. That was kind of fun too. Okay? And then this is the sausage. So these are fun. Yeah, have people just do, sauteed mushrooms are really nice. Mushrooms and cheese, what's not to love about that? Little pieces of spicy salami. So see, then these are all cut up in pieces and people can just come and take, I could even cut these in half again and have little bite-sized pieces. That'd be really, really good. Nice glass of wine, and you can open your own wine bar. Okay, so thanks for joining. If you have any questions, you can leave them underneath. And I just wanted to remind you that what I'm doing on Facebook now is I started Dining with the Diva as a secret Facebook group. So, how do you say that? Closed Facebook group. I don't speak English a lot, so it's kind of I get confused sometimes. So if you want to join, you could just come to the Facebook group and ask to join. We let you in. And then what I'm going to do is, there'll be the links from the Facebook group. If you have any questions, that's where you can ask questions. I think once a week, I'm going to have you guys share your Italian recipes on there. I saw we have a cooking teacher from Umbria that was leaving me a message, and other people that love to cook. So I think what I'm going to do is this is all building up to me to do some question and answer periods, some live Facebook for the group. We'll have a live Facebook where we can just talk and exchange information that I won't be doing on the regular Facebook account. And then you have the YouTube. I'm going to transfer these all to YouTube so that they'll be on YouTube so you can reference back to these recipes. And yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I have it sounds like I have a place to open a school in next year in May. So I'm building up to that. Right now I do my market tour in Florence at the Central Market, the Mercato Centrale of San Lorenzo. And like I said, Eric and I come and we cook at your villa, cook with you, do cooking classes. We don't really cater. And then I'm also doing week-long programs. And I have one in June here in Tuscany. And I have one in October for Sicily. And then most of what I do is private groups. So families or friends that get together and want a private week, I could do it almost anywhere. I've done them in the Amalfi Coast. I've done Puglia. I've done Maremma, which is the southern part of Tuscany where the cowboys are. I love the research, and I love putting together these groups. And it's always culture through cooking and meeting the people. So if you're coming to Chianti, on my website, divinacucina.com, you can download for free my Taste Chianti app. It's for Androids and for iPhones. You see the messages. Next May, yep, next May. Hi, David. Thanks, David. Yeah, you have to come. I went to that cheese guy today, and oh my God, it reminds me. David Lebovitz is here from Paris. So, David, did you see these sausages? Okay, so I picked up these sausages, and the guy was just grinding them out when I was there. And these are from his pigs, and he has cows, okay? So he goes, would you like a pork chop? We have pork chops today. And I said, well, you know, are they from the scamarita? The scamarita is, I would call it a shoulder chop. It's where the pork roast stops, and then it goes up to the neck piece. And I really like that better. It tends to have two different colors of meat and a little more fat in it. And I like that when you cook it, the fat melts and tenderizes the meat, and it's just really beautiful. He said, no, these are just regular pork chops. I go, I don't know, I really like the other kind of pork chops better. He said, well, let me show you. Okay, this is the pork chop. This is enough to like feed a family. Yeah, this is the cheese guy has his own animals, so this is his pork chops. Isn't it huge? Look at that. So these are from free range pigs, and it's a big gray pig, pink pig, a Maremma style pig. So I'm going to go look up a picture of what these pigs look like. Can you see this? They're huge. Look at that. So this just does, and has a little bit of bone right down here. But this is what the pork roast would have been, and that's what I wanted, was a pork chop that's usually about that big and has the dark meat next to the light meat and then the fat that melts. Ciao, Perla. See, they're afraid that Perla's saying, call Andrea that the crostini are ready. Yeah, I'm sorry you didn't come to lunch yesterday, Perla. So look at this fat, okay? This is going to take forever for this fat to melt. So these are going to be, excuse me, slow cooked in a skillet, and then I'll keep basting them with their own fat. And I'll put like some rosemary and garlic in the fat. Look, but there's two of these. Look at that. We're going to have a party to have these. So this is what would have been like the pancetta looked like. The belly part, see right there? That would have been the pancetta. So that'll be lunch one of these days, probably for a party. Okay? So I'm just going to watch TV and leave the beans on to cook. And tomorrow we'll turn these beans. I'll show you what they look like cooked. We're going to salt them at the end of the cooking time, just maybe like 10 or 15 minutes before they're done. And every once in a while I'll give these a stir, and then I'll just be sure when they've absorbed the water that I top them off with more water. So there's also on my website, I know for sure, aren't those chops insane? In Brooklyn, yeah. It's just a different pig, you know? They're different pigs, give you different pork chops. And then I have a friend in Castellina in Chianti, Raymond Lamoth, who has the Cinta Senesi pigs. And those are, I guess, what in America we call saddleback. They're the black and white pigs. And they also have that big layer of fat. So for a while in America, they were breeding the fat out of the pigs. But then we got all this dry pork. You need pork fat to make them really tender. So it's kind of fun. I was thinking about making applesauce, just so Andrea could have pork chops and applesauce. Thought that might be fun. But anyway, so these are just getting hot enough where little bubbles are starting to come up. And on my website, there's how to cook the Tuscan beans. There's 6 million recipes about beans on the website. We do, for summer, a tuna and bean salad that's really nice. Tomorrow we're going to do them in a tomato sauce, garlic, olive oil, chili, pepper, sage, tomato sauce. It's in the style of the bird, so it's how you normally cook little birds. And what else? Tuna salad, yeah. The beans by themselves are fabulous, and even the beans can just be put on top of a toasted piece of bread rubbed with garlic. You put the beans by themselves, olive oil and salt, and you can eat them like that as a, we call it fettunta with fagioli, but that's a bruschetta. Or you can do it with the bean broth, which I love, and then it's a soup. And it's like one giant crouton underneath. And as you eat your soup, you cut the little bread up and take this crunchy bread with garlic and have it with your broth. But I think, too, when you see Steve Sando of Rancho Gordo, the broth is essential because it's got so many flavors. So I don't add pork to this. I don't think it needs it. I have the olive oil as my fat. The sage is what we traditionally use with white beans. If I was doing chickpeas, I'd do rosemary. Gives a little more flavor to the chickpeas. And salt usually at the end. And I use sea salt, which is higher in minerals than in sodium and has a really beautiful flavor. If you don't have that, I guess you can use kosher salt rather than a processed salt. So I'll see you guys later. If you have any questions, leave me some questions. Ciao, Alda. Chinese garlic, ugh, I have no idea. It's huge. Because I think, too, people, Deborah, I think one thing people don't realize is we hardly use any garlic here at all. I might use 1 or 2 cloves, and then you throw them away. Usually don't eat them. In sauteing, I'll use 1 clove of garlic. That whole 40 cloves of garlic chicken thing, or people using 8 cloves of garlic to make a recipe, I think it's because our basic ingredients are lacking flavor. Our ingredients here have so much flavor. Our extra virgin olive oil is really peppery. The sea salt has so much flavor. We don't add a lot of garlic. And when I was just down, when we go to Sicily, we cook at the Planeta winery. And the Planeta family doesn't want any garlic at all in their food because they consider it very kind of rude to breathe garlic breath on people. So I think maybe it all came the Italian Americans when they came over. Garlic is kind of a natural antibiotic, and it kills things. Like if your cat has worms or something, you give it raw garlic. And I think in hot cultures, they tend to use more garlic because it's like a natural medicine. But we don't use a lot of garlic here at all. So I have no idea about the elephant garlic. I know, I think it must be really cheap. Personally, I don't like Chinese things, Chinese food products. There's no laws in governing them of how they raise them. My mother was raised in Shanghai, and of course that was back in the 1930s. But she was telling me how they use human waste as fertilizer. They used human waste as fertilizer. And you don't know what they're using as fertilizer. There's no control over what's in their stuff. I don't like clothing made in China because you don't know what's in the dyes that they're using for the clothing. A lot of it's sweatshops. I don't think I need to get political here, but I believe in spending my money on good quality food because it's going inside my stomach. And I just think that, everyone now, I think they're discovering that the best medicine is to eat well. To eat good ingredients, not canned food, not junk food. I was just watching Leslie Nance, who has the Go-To Kitchens. She's a cancer survivor too, and she was saying, if you want to eat junk food, great, but make it at your own house. You know what's going in. So I make Cracker Jacks. I make caramelized popcorn. I do peanut brittle. I do candy. I do lots of stuff, but I make it at home. Every once in a while, sure, I'll buy potato chips and some, yucky food, but I try on the whole to eat fresh, seasonal food. And less is more. You don't need a lot when it tastes really good. And we even though I bought like all this meat today, most of our diet, like all week, we've been eating huge big salads. We buy our beautiful salads that have just been picked at 5 o'clock in the morning. We're buying them like at 11 or 12 o'clock, and we're eating them that day. They last for several days. Then we're adding tomatoes and raw fennel and carrots and cucumbers and radishes, and we eat tons of salads, pasta with vegetables. And then when we find good meat, well, we love good meat, but it's not a huge part of our diet. So, hi, David. Okay, good point. Uses so much garlic in the U.S. French are the same way about garlic, yeah. Oops. I'll see that later, I guess. Yeah. I think when the immigrants moved over, too, it was also the poorer class of people that moved over, and so a different style of cooking than most people. And also our ingredients, like we were saying, is different. Like Alba was saying, that Chinese garlic. I saw a picture of one of those heads today. They're like that big. I'm trying to think. I think I'm out of my garlic here. Here, this is a clove of garlic. It's tiny, and I would use this for maybe me and my husband, but also we use them and then we take them out. So anyway, thanks you guys for stopping by. I'm loving this. I love any feedback, so you can, I guess, leave things here. You can sign up for my YouTube channel. I'm filing all the recipes there. And let me know if there's anything you want to see. Someone already requested the chicken under a brick, which is really fun, and somebody else asked for something Sicilian. Somebody else asked for sauces, different pasta sauces. So I'm making a little list of things you'd like to see. And more than glad, you know, I kind of do mostly Tuscan, but I've been to Sicily, Puglia. One day I'll show you fresh pasta. That's just flour and water, no eggs. That's fun. You don't need a machine to make it. It's all little hand-rolled, fun little shapes. It's fun to make with kids. So I'm open to anything, and I'm thank you for letting me into your kitchen and show me pictures of anything you make. And we'll share with each other on this Dining with the Diva group. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.